The Nike Pegasus has been the go-to daily trainer for many years. The Nike Pegasus was the king of the daily trainer. Some say the Nike Pegasus actually was the original daily trainer. Over the years we've had some good versions and we've had some bad versions. We've seen innovation and we've seen excellence. This year we get version 40, and there are high hopes out there that version 40 will put the crown back on the king's head. In this video we're going to find out if the Nike Pegasus has regained its crown as the king of daily trainers, or have we just got another update that is meaningless. What is up everybody, and welcome to 40 Runs HQ here in Chicago. Yes, I've moved to Chicago because I'm trying to get closer to Kofuzi. I'm slowly but surely stalking him. Right, so the Nike Pegasus, we're going to be talking about firstly the Nike Pegasus range and history, sort of history lesson, and what it sort of means to me and where I've had it and where I've used it. And then we're going to be reviewing the Pegasus 40. Now before you jump into the comments and start angry typing and saying, 40, you said you wasn't going to be reviewing the Nike Pegasus 40. Well, technically I'm not, because I've got a friend of mine who's going to be helping me out. Now before we get to that bit, let's have a little bit of a history lesson. So the Nike Pegasus was, actually I've got the 34 here, the Nike Pegasus was the king of the daily trainer. What made the daily trainer, the Pegasus, the king of the daily trainer? Well, there was a couple of simple things that it did very well. Firstly, I think price. It was a premium product, but it wasn't over the top in terms of pricing. You got a great upper, nice and breathable, fits true to size. It was the right weight, around 9 ounces. Was it 9 to 10 ounces? Either way, it felt good in terms of weight. There was enough foam in the shoe to make it feel comfortable. We had the Air Zoom units in the shoe. We had a great outsole, so you could do pretty much everything in it. I've run the London Marathon in this shoe, so we know it can go the marathon distance as well. You got fly wires. It was a nice lockdown, and it was just able to help you do everything that you wanted to do, and that's what made the Pegasus really good. Version 35 was okay, but as we've crept up to version 40, the big milestone, the shoes have progressively got worse. They've got cheaper, they've got ill-fitting, they've got poor uppers on them, and they've just sort of, I don't know, got stuck in a time warp. If you compare the Pegasus, let's say the 39, let's put the 40 to one side because we don't know what the Pegasus 40 is like at the moment. But if we look at those sort of 36 to 39 and you compare them to the sort of shoes from Saucony and Asics and some of the other big brands out there, and the sort of innovations that they've done compared to the Pegasus, I think Nike have really sort of dropped the ball with that shoe. And I had really high hopes for the Pegasus 40. But the thing is, I'm not going to review it because they really annoyed me. Now the reason they've annoyed me, because what I've seen is that they've just done a mild update. And I really wanted them to do something awesome. I wanted them to come with, I don't know, whether it's a new foam or some real cool innovations, new, better upper, a bit more stack, a little bit more, I don't know, something about it. They could have really gone bananas and really gone crazy. But what it looks like to me is they've just done a mild update. But look, what do I know? I know somebody who's picked up the Nike Pegasus 40 and he's done a little video for us, which is kind of awesome. Now I'm going to introduce you to Aubrey Running. If you don't know this YouTube channel, I want you to go over there as soon as you finish this video and subscribe. He's doing very good things on his channel, shoe reviews and bits and bobs like that. He's just a really nice guy. I've had the pleasure of meeting him. So I want you to watch this video, obviously like, subscribe and do all those sort of bits to this channel, but then I want you to go to Aubrey's channel and do exactly the same thing. Now Aubrey is kind enough to put a video together on the Pegasus 40 for us, so he's going to give his opinion, which I think is really awesome, because it's all opinion, people, right? So let's listen to Aubrey and see what he says about the Pegasus 40, and I'll catch you at the end of the video.
Hello? Mum, you won't believe this, Mum. I'm doing a collaborative shoe review with 40 Runs. Yeah, the guy I watch all the time. Yeah, that's the guy. Oh, Nike, they released a new one. It's called the Pegasus 40, so we're doing that together, we're reviewing it. Yeah. But Mum, let me get going. I have to compose myself and get recording because I don't want to give off groupie vibes or anything like that. So I want to be all cool about it. Okay, I'll call you in a bit. Love you. Okay. On a serious note, thank you very much, sir, for inviting me to collaborate with you on this review. I've been a fan of 40 runs even before I started running and doing running shoe reviews myself. It's a special occasion for me as a fan. What better shoe to be collaborating together on than the Pegasus 40? Now, normally on my channel, I give my viewers 3 facts about every shoe you need to know, and I'm going to do that for you in a second, because I feel like the Pegasus 40 deserves something a little bit more. You see, this is the 40th version of the Pegasus. That's 40 years of refining what a running shoe should be like. That is 40 years of setting a standard of what the daily trainer running shoe should feel like. Now, don't get me wrong. There are shoes that are more cushioned. There are shoes that are super shoes with carbon plates. There are shoes with spikes. There are shoes that do different things. When we look at a daily trainer, we're looking for a workhorse that does all of that very well. That, to me, has been challenged by shoes like the Nimbus 25, because other brands have picked up on the benchmark set, in my opinion, by the Pegasus 40. So Chris, I totally get your opinion of reviewing this shoe as it is, but you first of all have to start by acknowledging what the Pegasus series is. And in my opinion, the Pegasus shoe is the standard that all other brands have based their shoe on and improved upon. Let's get to the rest of the review. The 3 facts I promised you. Let's start with the weight. I wear a size 9.5 UK and it weighed exactly the same as the gel Nimbus 25, and that is 314 grams. The second thing is the price. I paid £114 from the Nike website for mine. And lastly, the stack height. Sadly, I couldn't find what the stack height is, but what I can tell you is it's a 10mm drop from the back to the forefoot. Okay, so let's talk about what's changed from the 39 into this version, the 40. If you're familiar with how Nike does the Pegasus, they always jump one version and then make the significant changes in the next one. For example, the 38 going into the 39 was a radical change, a redesigning of the shoe. 39 into this version, the 40, not so much. It still maintains the same Air Zoom midsole, which we all love. I certainly did in the 39, and the same outsole, waffle shaped, high gripped. I can't criticize this. Okay, so let's talk about what has significantly changed, and that is the upper. They've redesigned the upper in terms of the mesh, making it a bit more breathable than the version 39. There are also some internal changes you can see through the lining. There's an internal lining that almost holds your foot a bit more securely and adds a bit more resilience to the shoe, I felt. Putting your foot in the shoe, it does feel a bit more secure than the version 39 did, but I think the main word to use there is comfort. Let's talk about the other change, and for me, it's a big one. To some, it might not be. I did not like that fly wire system. I just didn't get that. I don't like it in the Nimbus. The gel Nimbus 25 also has this. I don't get what that's all about. Running shoe companies should just simply put holes in the upper, run the laces through that hole, and reinforce that hole so it doesn't come apart. I like what they've done here. It's not quite the system I've just described, but it's definitely more resilient and more secure holding than the flywire system, in my opinion. One more significant change they've made in the 40 is to the heel. Not only to give you a firmer hold, but for comfort, there's a lot more padding in the heel. Now, if you ran in the Invincible 3, or at least watch reviews of it, a lot of people complain about your heel slipping in the back there, that you're having to really tie down in the shoe, and that messes with the comfort of the shoe. I didn't get that in the Pegasus 40, and I think that's a very significant change. And I don't think it's necessarily a problem in the 39, but it's just an improvement in the 40. Those were the key changes made, but it's possible that you may not have ran in the 39 and you just want to know about this shoe in its own right as a running shoe. So let's talk about that now. I'm going to talk about 2 things that I think that could have done better in this shoe that I think you need to know. And the first thing is the weight. Being a 9.5 UK, weighing the same as the gel Nimbus 25, exactly 314 grams, to me feels a bit too heavy for this shoe. Because that then tells me, well, I might as well run in the gel Nimbus 25. I feel like they could have made this much lighter and used that as a selling point, because that's where running shoes are going right now. Nike have released their Vaporfly 3, and it's one of the lightest shoes that I have ever used, so it seems wrong that they produce a shoe that can be criticized on its weight. The second thing is the lacing system, like I talked about. It's not too big a deal, but to me, again, they could have done something a bit more useful, and to reduce the weight of the shoe, they could have gained some of that in the lacing system. Okay, whilst there's a few things I think they could have done better, there's a lot more that I love about the Pegasus 40, starting with the outsole. Check that out. That looks edible. Oh, all right. Now, running shoes are trying to make their shoes lighter, and they compromise on the outsole. So they'll take out chunks and almost just focus on the landing areas. But that makes the running shoe a bit more vulnerable to wear and tear. Nike didn't do that. And it makes this shoe much more grippier than a lot of the other daily trainers. Okay, the next thing I love is the midsole of the Pegasus 40. Whilst we all love Zoom X, but I felt like in the Invincible 3, unless you're trying to do that recovery, slow pace run, it can hold you back a little bit. So if you're looking for a daily trainer that gets you closer to the ground, a bit more in contact with the ground and giving you a return of energy, I feel like this does that. And that's how it felt on my run. And the next thing I love is the tongue. It's gusseted, fully gusseted, meaning it's actually attached in the inside to the sides of the shoes, and it holds the tongue very securely in place as you're running, as well as when you're putting the shoe on. The last spec we're going to talk about that I know you care about is the price. You see, I've reviewed some daily trainers recently. On Running's Cloud Surfer, £140. A6 Cumulus 25, £145. The Gel Nimbus is £175. This cost me £114. I still think that's a lot of money, but if you're looking for a daily trainer and finances are a key consideration, you cannot argue against going for the Pegasus 40. It's simple. Who is this shoe for? Well, you see, sometimes you need a suit and a bow tie, but other times you just need t-shirt and jeans. Sometimes you want eggs, sausages, bacon, blah, 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 but sometimes you just need oats. This is a neutral daily trainer. It's the t-shirt and jeans. It's the oats of this world for your daily miles, your frequent training, because you don't want to do that in your suit and bow tie, in your eggs, bacon, that kind of thing. That will be your Vaporfly, your Alpha Fly. This is a daily trainer for building your base, just getting the miles in. And secondly, this is for that person that's just gotten into running and you're testing the waters, or at least getting into running at a serious level. Before you invest in something high end, you start here and then try and see, maybe in the near future, you get yourself an Alpha Fly, a Vaporfly, but this is a very good starting point. With all of that said, I have to say a massive shout out 40 Runs. Thank you very much for having me on board. And for you guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so now. I'll see you on the next one.
Right, so there we go, people. That's Aubrey's thoughts. You know where I'm at. I refuse to review it. Why they just keep, chugging out these same old boring shoes. But hopefully, next year, year after, whatever, they do something awesome with the Pegasus and they get it back to the king of the daily trainers. Right, that's it from me. Again, don't forget to subscribe to Aubrey's channel. Thanks very much, bud, for doing that video. I really do appreciate it. That's it from me. I'll catch you later.